The stories start with a doctor, James Xavier, a physician, and an aiming researcher. He wishes to invent something extremist in medicine that will one day save most lives. In the opening event, he is getting his eyes examined at a colleague doctor, Sam's clinic. It has only been 3 months since the past checkup, which seems odd to Sam. James replies that he is about to use an experiential eye drop on himself, so he needs to get his eyes checked frequently. Although James is an authorized professional with years of experience, Doctor Sam thinks being a subject to your own experiment is an evil idea. A humane eye can only see up to 10% of the things that entirely exist in the world. James is working to create an eye drop so people can see beyond what their eyes allow them to. With this new product, they will be skillful to see the ultraviolet and X-ray wavelengths and beyond. The idea is mad, but the doctor is aspiring to make it come real. After the committee, James goes to his lab and meets his close friend and colleague, Dr. Diane. She informs him that the people who are funding the lab are growing impatient. They have spent a plenty of money on James' experiment and are now pressuring Dr. Diane for results. She is especially frustrated because James hasn't told her anything about his study. James agrees to show her his discovery and brings her to the lab. After clarifying what the eye drop does, he uses it on a monkey. To see if it really worked, the animal is made to take a color assessment test. Even though he cannot see the colored sheets from his point of view, he makes the correct guess. This proves that he can entirely see through the tinted sheets and can tell which one comes after another. Dr. Diane is left stunned at the animal's intelligence, but a little minutes later, the monkey dies of a cardiac arrest. The death is miserable, but it doesn't take away from the fact that the eye drop does precisely what it was meant to do. James wants to use the eye drop for medicinal purposes because that way, doctors can tell what is bad with a patient just by looking at them. However, he desperately needs the investors' money for more research. Dr. Diane arranges a meeting between him and the investors a small days later. The doctor is so enthusiastic to prove his invention's efficiency that he is prompt to use it on himself. He tells Dr. Sam about his plan, but Sam is exactly against it. According to him, the experiment is not value risking his life. Still, James somehow manages to convince Sam to help in the application process. In the following scene, Dr. Sam puts the drop into his eyes. Initially, James loses the perception of vision and sees only colors and patterns. He describes it as seeing else light than he has ever seen in his life. Then, he discovers he can see through the piles of paper on the table and read them without turning them over. He is delighted that the product works, but he still can only see through the surface of objects. The doctor gets too agitated and puts 2 else drops into his eyes. He regrets the decision immediately as the second drop burns more than the first one. In the following scene, Dr. Diane and Sam are in a meeting with the investors. James was incapable to come because he is regaining from the eye injury. The investors no longer believe in his work and decide to quit funding the project. Dr. Diane and Sam arrive to him to give him the news. James has bandages over his eyes to help him with the pain, but it is almost as if they don't exist because he can see very certainly through them. A week later, he returns to the hospital. The nurse introduces him to a small girl who has been diagnosed with stenosis. But with his fresh ability, James finds out the diagnosis is bad, and she entirely has a tumor attached to her heart. He tells the girl's principal doctor about it, but the man refuses to listen, driven by pride. That evening, Dr. Diane takes him to a party. James doesn't actually enjoy similar gatherings, but he tries to socialize and dance with a lovely girl. Unexpectedly, his eyes itch, and when he opens them again, he can see through people's clothes. James looks around in shock and sees Dr. Diane naked. Upon hearing that she isn't covered in his view, Dr. Diane quickly brings him home. The following day is the day of the small girl's surgery. James continually requests the Prime Doctor to reconsider his decision because the diagnosis is wrong, when he still doesn't listen. James takes excessive measures and cuts the doctor's hand right before the operation starts. Because of the wand, he can no longer operate on the girl, and James takes over the procedure. He does the proper surgery to remove the tumor and saves the small girl's life with his own reputation. The remaining doctor accuses him of malpractice even though the surgery was accomplished. The next day, James goes to Sam for a routine eye checkup. Sam registers that James can only see bones, muscles, and nerves in people, and is quickly losing his potential to see things as they would seem to standard human eyes. It turns out that he has been using the eye drop continuously since the final use. Sam urges him to stop instantly, but James is too concerned about his experiment to care about his health. With the constant use of the eye drop, soon he will be skillful to see what no man has ever seen in the history of humans. Anxious about his friend's health, Sam strongly tries to sedate him. In the ensuing struggle, James accidentally pushes him off the window and kills him. He feels dreadful for what he did, but has no way to alteration the past. Dr. Diane, who witnessed everything, doesn't want James to be charged with coincidental death. Hence, she helps him escape before the cops arrive. The next day, news about the killer doctor spreads around town. James can no longer be seen in public as his old self, nor can he proceed practicing medicine. He changes his name and appearance and starts working as a talent in a freak show. He uses his ability to guess the things inside of the viewer's pockets and earns money in return. James had thought that his discovery would save millions of lives and is miserable about what it has come down to. The guy who owns the freak show called Crane recognizes James's talent. He does his greatest to find out what his trick is, but is futile. One day, a lady is injured near their set. James quickly scans her for wounds and sees that she has a worn-out leg. He helps her the greatest he can before the paramedics arrive. Seeing him handle the circumstance so well, Crane registers he might be a doctor. He offers James a deal that is bound to make them a lot of money. He suggests they organize a diagnosis clinic where people can come before they go to the doctor to find out what exactly is bad with their bodies. James likes the idea, but only because that way he can use his power for good. The next day, they return to the late city and stay in a rural apartment. Before going to sleep, James puts the eye drops in his eyes again. It has been a program ever since he firstly tested it with Dr. Sam. With this drop, he manages to see through the ceiling above him. James shortly wears blackened glasses so people won't get to see what the drops have done to his eyes. Right after, Crane brings their firstly client, an old-time rich lady who has been having strict health difficulties lately. She is worried it might be cancer, but only a look at her tells James that she is just weary because of old age. He asks her not to concern because the pain will go away if she takes a rest for some days. Later that day, James sits alone in his room and records the progress of the medicine. He is interrupted by Crane, who urges him to come outside shortly. James does as told and finds a crowd of people waiting for him to take a look at them and find out their illnesses. The old lady from yesterday has spread the word about him among the circle of her rich companions. James sees the patients and tends to their problems while Crane pockets several bills throughout the day. Their clinic grows more popular with time. One day, Dr. Diane gets a hint about the clinic and rushes to meet the new miracle doctor, knowing precisely who it is. She sits in front of James, but he fails to recognize her and can only see her muscles. When Dr. Diane speaks, the memories of his former life flood back to James. She reveals that she had several patients come in, knowing actually what was wrong with them. Ultimately, she put two and two together and found out about his return. For the first time in months, the doctor has someone to share his feelings with. He reveals that at night, he cannot sleep because he glimpses through his own eyelids. The drops have turned into a curse that flipped his life, but he cannot stop utilizing it at this point. Dr. Diane is worried about his health and about the police finding him because of his rage. She urges him to come somewhere safe, but Crane doesn't agree. He is used to making money off of James's talent and doesn't want to stop. The couple fights Crane and runs away from the town. Now, James wants to learn to control his eyes but wants money for the experiment. Hence, they go to Vegas and end up in a casino. James's ability is a blessing when he gets to play poker. By the edge of the night, he has gathered enough money to help him survive a month. But then, the casino's manager and a policeman approach him, accusing him of cheating since no one can win that several rounds in a single night. As James tries to explain himself, a policeman pulls his glasses away to reveal that his eyes have changed color. The sight takes him by shock for a second, but he soon recognizes James as the crazy doctor who ran away after murdering his friend. The backup is called to arrest him, but James gets in a car and runs away before he is caught. They follow him behind in a chopper, and while striving to run away from it, he crashes. Fortunately for the doctor, he survives the crash and comes out of the car unharmed. After walking for a few minutes, he ends up at an open church where people are busy singing religious songs. By now, James's eyes have turned totally back. The dad assures him that God will save him, but James knows he is too far gone to be saved. He looks at the sky and can see God at this point. Two policemen arrive with Dr. Diane but do not arrest him. Drowning in shame of what he has done, James gauges both of his eyes. The story ends as he turns to the camera and reveals that his sights are gone. And the end. If you are a lover of similar content like this, take a look at my diverse videos, and if you love it, please burst the like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel and smash the notification bell. Take presence of you in the next video.